Okay, so hello everyone. Uh, Looks like we are live. First, I would just request you, if someone can comment, if you can hear my voice perfectly, if everything is correct, then please let me know. And we will get started in 1 minute. A very good morning to all the people who have joined and really appreciate your presence. All right, so let's get started over here. And so the screen that you can see over here, right? So let me start with the macroeconomic backdrop, right? So today was CPI data release, right? And the CPI data release, the actual, inflation rate year over year was 3.3%, which is way higher. And the forecast was 3.1%. So it is beating all the expectations. That means inflation has came in really hot, right? So if inflation is coming at really hot levels, the rating is so damn high, that has some serious consequences on the markets, right? The very reason I'm saying this is because if inflation keeps on, high, then the Federal Reserve does not have, big incentive to, cut the rates. And if the Federal Reserve doesn't have a good incentive to cut the rates, then the markets are not going to like it. So that is where the macroeconomic backdrop is coming from, right? Now, let us go to the technical charts. So the CPI data release was on 5:30 in the morning, right? So this is the CPI data release candle, which is almost 234 points. So it's a pretty huge candle, and for anyone who is new to watching these kind of data releases, this is very heavy candle. Like in 5 minutes, it was almost 1% down. So markets are yet to open, 1 minute or 2 minutes left, but this is where the we are coming from. So I just wanted to give a fundamental reason like why the markets are falling, because the CPI data has came in way hotter than expected. So the inflation is going high, and which is evident from the year over year data release. So coming on to the technical charts. So there is a, according to my experience, when we have big days like these, right, what happens is market are very volatile and very violent. So you will see a lot of huge moves, right? So for example, this was a huge move, 200 points candle, right? 234 points candle. This was 47 points candle, right? So it was a huge move. And then you look at the daily chart right over here. So in the daily chart, now we are really in the no man's land, because you can see over here, if we closed below these levels, then that would be extremely bearish, right? So I will be ultra cautious today. I will be very cautious. So what I can do to safeguard my trading on these days, to safeguard my trading on these days, the first thing that I will do is I will be extremely patient, right? The second thing I can do is I can reduce my position size, right? And my position size is going to be half contract or one full contract, right? And then let me go also over the volume profile charts. So you can see over here, maximum amount of volume has occurred over here, right? So let's see what happens at this high volume node, because if we can survive above this high volume node, then that would be a pretty good sign. But if we can't, then we have to be really safeguard from our downside. So that's clear gist of what is going on in my mind right now. And now also let's take a look at what the bookmap or the liquidity chart is telling us. So markets just opened 1 minute ago, and let's see where the resting liquidity is, right? And let's see if we can find some support zones or resistance zones. So right now, the first 5 minutes would be crucial to me. The first 15 minutes is really crucial. So you can see over here that the low of the range is around 500, that is 21,500. So that will be an important level for us to watch, right? Because that can be tested. And on the on the actual 5 minute chart, right now there is no clear sign of strength over here. So let's see if the markets can hold the 21,500 level. So this is the first candle of the day. This is the first 5 minute candle. So as you guys know, I normally don't trade the first 15 minutes. So let's see, and let's wait for the first 15 minutes, and we take it from there. But right now we are below S1, S2, so we are below the S2 support, that is the pivot level. So let's see if we can reclaim that, right? And I also want to show you this one thing, right? When we go to the 5 minute chart, looks like we are pushing right now upwards, but at the same time I want to show you this thing. So the CPI candle came in at 5:30. So this zone, right, this zone of 21,600 is going to act as a good resistance, since we are since a major volume occurred near that range. So that is what I wanted to show. And now let's concentrate on the 5 minute charts now, right? I might take some scalps here and there, but again, it's going to be very quick, because I will be very conservative today in taking my profits. As long as I hit 5, 10, 15 points, I'm done, because there is no value in risking today. So let's see how the markets hold this zone. For those who are joining new, feel free to ask your questions, and feel free to comment with whatever thoughts you have. But yeah, be extremely cautious today, and I'll try to be really more patient. So we are hitting a major liquidity area right now over here, and markets are trying very hard to push the 580 zone. Let's see if I can grab a good long entry. I just want one retracement, and that too around 580. So if we can bounce back from the support, that would be a good entry. Something over here, if it can bounce back from the 5-day EMA, then that would be a good entry. But let's see. So this is the first 5 minute candle. So far markets behaving strong, but at the same time VWAP is approaching over here. So VWAP is at 602, sorry, 606. So 580 level is being approached. The S2 support is at 75. So I have put my limit order on 576. So let's see if it can hit. Yep, looks like I got filled. And I'm going to keep my target at 5 points. Okay, looks like it got executed. So this is the first trade of the day, and I was just able to capture 5 points, and that's exactly what I'm gonna do today, because it's going to be really volatile. So why did I take this trade, right? The reason why I took this trade is today over here, the first candle was really bullish, but I was waiting for a nice retrievement over here. All right, so over here, so you can see on my trading panel, right? I just entered like this over here. So I bought it at 576 and I went out at 81.25, so almost 5.25 points, 11 seconds, right? Only with one contract. So that was a pretty calm, cool, and very fast trade. So very happy with that. So but since this was a first trade of the day, I didn't want to hit for a home run. So I just want to know where the day is going and what's the situation in the markets right now, because we have a huge high volume node coming at 600. So let me show you over here. So this is the 60-minute volume area, right? So over here you can see that there is a huge here you won't be able to see. Let me show you over here in the 5-minute chart. Yeah, so over here near 600 area you can see that there's a huge volume. So I'll be extremely cautious over here. So we already approached 600 zone, which is exactly where the VWAP is. So let's see how it responds. I'm also keeping a close eye on the bookmap liquidity. Let's see how that behaves. So for the first 15 minutes, I'm going to be very, cautious, because I still want to judge and know the actual trend, right? And also let me show you the 5-minute chart over here. Okay, so this is the 5-minute chart. So this was 6:30, the first candle, this was the second candle, and I will wait patiently for the third candle to complete. The reason being, since we had a huge pullback or a huge downfall in the pre-market, there is a very high chance that in today's day we will test this low. So let me show you with a marker. So there is a very high chance that we test today's low. So I would be comfortable when price comes over here, and then I would assess the situation and see where am I supposed to go long. So let me show you. So over here you can see that this was the overnight session low, right? So I would be very interested in going long or searching for good long opportunities in this zone, because um, there is a very high chance that, according to my experience, whenever these kind of wild days occur, it's a very high chance that this gets tested. So that's my 2 cents on the topic. And yeah, so the third 5 minute candle is about to finish in 4 minutes, and then we draw the opening range as always. So I normally draw the 15-minute high, 15-minute low, and the mid of the candle, mid of the range, to be honest. So let's see how things turn out, and I'm patiently waiting for that pullback. Let me also check the economic calendar, because Fed Chair Jerome Powell was supposed to speak today. Okay, so the testimony of Fed Chair Powell is starting in 18 minutes, as you can see over here, and he will be grilled today, man, because inflation came in hotter, and Democrats or Republicans, they will question Powell, like, why are you not doing anything about it, and blah blah blah. So it would be a sight to watch if you are interested. But yeah, so far daily charts are not looking good. Markets are trying to recover, but again, it's very early day. It's very early in the day, so um, I would take everything with a grain of salt, since this is just the first 15 minute of the day. So, but the very first thing that I want to do is I want to draw the 15-minute range. That's the very first thing I want to do, because that sets the perspective of the day, that sets the tone of the day. So let's see, 2 minutes left, but the bottom part is defined at 536, 21,536. So let's see. This is what I was talking about. So I'm just waiting for this 5-minute candle to close so that I can draw the opening range. Okay, looks like markets are going up like crazy. So this was a huge move, to be honest, like from 536 to 650. See, this is the violence, or this is the degree of volatility that you can see on these kind of days. Like within first 15 minutes, you have 120 points move on the index. So not a small move in my humble opinion. So let me start drawing at least the bottom range. So this is the bottom range of the first 15-minute candle, and let's wait for 45 seconds and see. Looks like it wants to break. Wow, so it already broke the, okay, 12 seconds left. I think it's going to approach 668 for the test of VWAP. So the white line that you see over here is VWAP. Perfect. Okay, so we can draw our 15-minute range like this over here, and I'll draw the median line over here, and I'll do the white dashed template, and that's it. So now we have a clear perspective over here, like what is the tone of the day. So it started at 6:30, right? and right now it's 6:45, almost 6:46, and the first 15 minute of the day has been three extremely big bullish candles. So the only question is, can we sustain above these candles? Because if we can't, then that would be a good opportunity to short. So for us, for me to be bullish, we need to reclaim and stay above the 15-minute range. Only then I can be, sure that okay, the day is good and everything is bullish. But if we don't sustain this zone, so let me show you using the marker. So if we have, like, if market doesn't survive above this zone consistently on a closing basis, only then it can be regarded as bullish. So this is the line in the sand, whatever you call it, right? This is the most important zone that I will be keeping a close eye on. So if markets do not close consistently above this zone, right, then then that is the issue. So let me uh, give you a really good box kind of thing. So this is what I'm looking for. If markets survive above this zone, I'm bullish. If it doesn't survive above this zone on a closing basis, then then I have no choice but to be bearish. So that's where I'm coming from. So let's see what happens. But yeah, right now I'm just patiently waiting and seeing for good opportunities uh, on both the sides, not just shorting, or not just uh, going long, but on both sides. And we also have news coming up fairly quickly. In 12 minutes the testimony is going to start, so that is also big. And then later today we have 10-year note auction, so that is big news. So we have a fairly um, big news day. So I would be very, very cautious today, as always in the trading. So but these kind of days can give you really, really good opportunities if done correctly. So it's not like the problem is everything is risky. If you handle and if you can find some good trades, uh, as we did in the early session, it's we captured 5 points, right? But you know once you find good value in trading, then it becomes really comfortable. So you can see over here we are just hovering around this level, and EMA wise about to get a crossover, but uh, I would be ultra cautious because this crossover has to happen rather than I should see that crossover happening. So that is one thing that is going on in my mind. There is a resistance at S1 level, that is this green line. So let's see what happens. But now we have a good perspective, now we have a good line in the sand. So the thought process is now very well defined. So that simplicity will help us manage and navigate today's market action. So let's see how it goes. Currently looking at 5-minute charts, there should be a good retrieval or a pullback, but if somehow markets can retain this level, then it can go upwards. But looking at the sideways action, this definitely calls for being cautious right now. So looks like on the closing basis, so far so good, but since this candle has already just started, uh, it would be important to see the next 3 to 4 5 minute candles, if it closes above or not, because that would be very, very important to see. In the meanwhile, I will um, show you what liquidity is doing. So this is QQQ chart, right? Let's look at the daily of the QQQ chart. Daily looks fine, just bouncing back. So this is the 5 minute chart, and let's go to the daily. Okay, so daily it's forming a big hammer, and now let's go to the liquidity. So 630 is over here, and well, I don't see any big zones above. Let me see. Okay, below we can find 1 and 2 big zones around 500. But I don't like what I see over here is liquidity is quite low. Like, normally the volume over here at different levels should be very, very dense, and I don't know why am I not able to find good volume over here. So right now the liquidity is thin in my humble opinion. So we have a high volume node over here around 786. Looks like we are trying very hard to close above the S1 support, but let me see. So that is the S1 support. It would be very interesting to draw the Fibonacci diagram over here. So this is the Fibonacci level. So the actual test is around 720. So that is going to, like, we have already reclaimed the 0.5 level. So this Fibonacci level is going to be critical, but let's see how it plays out. Fed Chair Powell is going to speak in 6 minutes, so we better be aware of that thing, because he's gonna definitely assert the thesis that, hey, we are in no hurry, we are not gonna raise rates very soon, and that may spook the markets. So just wanted to put that out there. And since it is already 6:50, that is almost 7, that would be a sight to watch. Approaching the 688 zone. Okay, so this is a big development. We are starting to see the crossover, that is the bullish crossover over here, but you never know, like this crossover, if we get a one big red candle, then this crossover will be invalid. So we need to wait for confirmations, because the news event is perfectly aligning with this inflection point. So I would say that this is a very huge inflection point, deciding factor, So it's very, very crucial that we hold this yellow line, because if we don't, then that would be a very bearish sign, especially in the day like today, where markets first fell like crazy, testing the mid range over here and then falling back again. So that would be ideal, conventional wisdom. But let's see what happens. Because right now I am thinking about one good retracement. Because without that retracement, it is going to be extremely challenging for the bulls to take long position. So that's my thoughts over here. Any one good down push, and then we can take some really good long positions. So that's my thesis. So as suggested earlier, like, we are just chopping around at the 15-minute high of the session. So markets are still yet to decide if it wants to go higher or not. In my humble opinion, this is really a no man's land. So I'm staying out for now. Once I get some good pullback, that would be a good opportunity, and then we'll search for good levels over there. Looks like markets are bracing for the impact. 1 or 2 minutes left for Powell's testimony. This 600 zone and this 536 zone, I would be way more comfortable in going long at 528 or 532. But let's see. If we get a good opportunity to short, then definitely I'll do that. Right now, I'm just waiting patiently for the markets to reveal its real moment. Look, this is really concerning. Look at this. So let me show you the 10-year yield right now. The 10-year yield is really pushing higher. So you can see over here, it's 3.52% up this week, and it is almost 4.6. So 4.6% on 10-year yield is really concerning, because if the yields go up, right, then the investors will have a very less incentive to be in stocks. Rather, you should go and cash in this really amazing rate. So that's what is going on. I'm very tempted to go short over here, but I'll refrain myself unless we get some good confirmation. So Just want to share my screen so that if I take any position, you know what I'm doing. But yeah, I'm very tempted to short for 5 points because we need at least some kind of pullback which is healthy. Looks like 650 is getting bought over here zone. See, this is what I was talking about. This is exactly what I was talking about. So if we don't survive this, right, this is the 7 o'clock candle. So if we don't survive this, then there's a very high chance the lows of the day would be tested. So that's exactly what I was talking about. This is why I was tempted, to short. But let's see if we can find some really good opportunities of sell-off. So I would be mindful of that. I'm mindful of is this three lines, 1, 2, and 3. Ideally, I would love the markets to test this S2 level, but let's see what happens today. Like, I would be very very cautious. I just took one trade over here, 5 points, and that's it. So far I've just taken one trade and no regrets whatsoever. It was a clean trade, high probability setup. So yep. So this is a pretty nasty candle. So you can see 50-point candle right now. So when I bring my cursor over here, you can see the stats over here, right? So 54-point candle. So it has already started to become ugly. So let's see if it can test this 600 zone, and then eventually 580. So 580 would be a very good point to decide if I want to scalp for 5 points. But yeah, 600 is not bad either. In a day like today, it's going to be really violent. So that is why I'm refraining myself and keeping a lot of patience. Because 20 points or 15 points on Nasdaq contracts is way good for me. Like, we don't need to hit home runs as always. Base hits is really really important. So looks like we are on the way to test 600 level. So let's see if we can test that 600 level, because in my humble opinion 600 level would be a good to watch and see how markets react. Right now just hovering around 618, 612. Approaching 612. let me share my trading terminal so that if you can see in live time if I trade or take any position. But I'm just waiting for the 600 or 580 level to hit, so that would be my ideal, buying point. If it doesn't give that opportunity, then completely fine. But today is the day to be extremely strategic and extremely patient. So I'll also reduce my position size to 5 micro contracts. But yeah, I would definitely love to see a healthy retracement. Around 600 I can start the position, so I can put a limit order of 602 over here, which I already did over here, so you can see. So I'm waiting for the 602 level to hit, and in the meanwhile let us check the liquidity. Okay, so I'm already in the position, and right now, and you can see we are right now fighting the 600 zone. So let's see how well it holds. But I would be closing the position at 612, so 12 points, not bad at all. Yep, so just got filled. So very happy with how the trades play out. So I took the position around 602, and let me show you the reason, right? So first you can see the exact entry. So let me show you that. So this was the exact entry. I went long at 602 over here, and I closed my position at 612, so almost 10 points, 10.25 points, which is not bad, right? And let me show you why did I do this, right? So you go over here, right? And as I said, like, I had drawn the 15-minute high, 15-minute low, and the mid of the candle. So from the very start of the stream, I told that if we are not able to survive at this zone, then we will definitely have a nice pullback. So I saw the pullback coming, and I was patient enough, and I saw the pullback. Then I was waiting for this 602 level, which is the median line of the first 15-minute range, to get tested. So I set my limit order over here, and for 10 points I set my target at 612. So 602 to 612, 10 points, fair and square, no stress. It was a perfect trade. So this is what I wanted to see. So now, since I'm out of the trade, now we'll search for other trades. But so far, two trades, one with the full Nasdaq contract and other with micro contracts. On the first trade, I was able to capture 100 points, that is 5 points, which is $100. And the second trade, I was able to capture 10 points, but that is also $100 because it was micro contracts. But since I did micro contracts, I was very my mental balance was very good, because it was a 5 contract trade. So I mean micro contracts. So I had a lot of opportunity to average out if something goes south. So that's where I'm coming from. So let's see what other new opportunities the markets have in store for us. But I also want to show you status of liquidity on the bookmap chart. So this is the bookmap chart. This is where the markets started, which is 6:30 timeline, and so far this white line that you see is VWAP, and we are below the VWAP, so that is not good. So if we don't reclaim this VWAP, then expect a lot of downside. So I'm kind of extremely vigilant over here. I am trying to see like how the markets are reacting to these levels, because if we don't, then the downside support is at 580 and then eventually at 480. So the downside is way more, so we need to wait and watch. But as you can see, the bubbles, red bubbles, these are aggressive sellers. So right now the sellers are dominant, but let's see if they can hold and if they can keep selling. So that is $1 million question. So but so far, as far as our trading is concerned, we are looking good. Two trades, small trades, base hits, and this is exactly how I want my ideal trading to be. So yep, apparently sellers are dominant, and we are also out of all the positions, and let's see how things plan out. But yeah, approaching the pivot level. So right now you can see over here we are approaching 580 zone, and that's the S2 pivot level. So this pivot level is really important to watch. 588 zone or 580 zone. So also, since we are approaching the S2 pivot level, I just wanted to show you the TradesByAdvait terminal, because I might go long for 5 points or 10 points. So let's see how it goes. But yeah, I want that pivot level to be breached around 576, but right now it is 10 points above, so I do not have a really good entry. Of course I can put a limit order, but I want to be extra cautious. So let's see how the markets react. Let's look at what delta is doing, because in these kind of scenarios, okay, so delta is also going down. So you can see over here price went up, but at the same time right now the price and delta are incongruence, right? Incongruence with each other. So I don't see a big issue over there. But in the weekly charts, the 1 minute chart, we are approaching the second standard deviation. So that is something to be mindful of. So far the price action is looking very organic. So pretty expected stuff. No surprises as of now. But the point to watch is this, like can it hold the 580 level? So the 5 minute candle is about to get closed. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put my limit order at 582. So let's see if it can come down to 582. The chances are very low, but let's see if it can. trying to reclaim the 600 level. Okay, it did reclaim the 600 level, so doesn't look like it's gonna come back, but let's see. Looks like, so 5-day EMA is tested, so you can see over here it is testing the 5-day EMA. So if it can close above this, then a very, very good chance of going up. So let's see. Still going up. I would love to enter around 622 or something, which would be a reasonable pullback. I mean, on a candle level. Going straight up. Just straight up. Ideally, what I would love to see is 628 or 622 getting tested. So, but you never know. These kind of days are extremely violent. So, 15-20 points move happens just like that. So, that is why we need to stay very, very cautious. So let's see, let me do this. Let me grab a long around 636 or something. But doesn't look like it's going to approach. Let's see. The 5-day EMA is sitting at this blue line that you see over here. It is sitting at 628. So ideally I would like the price to approach over there to take a scalp long. So let's see. Okay, just going up. That candle is about to close in 40 seconds, and it is again approaching the 15-minute high over here. If it closes above that, then that would be extremely bullish. And then at that point I would love to go long. So let's see. I'm just waiting for right confirmation. So looking at 5-minute chart over here, the delta is holding up fairly well. All right, so now we have a good point of reference. So what I'm going to do is, I want to go long, but I'm searching for the right opportunity. So let's see if we can get a long position. I just set my limit order at 21,662, and you know what, let me go with micro contracts. So let me start my position at 668 and let's see what happens. So around actually 662 would be really good if the prices can, come over there, but looks like it's going up in the straight line. All right, looks like approaching 700. So let's do one thing. Get that to around 86 or 82. So I put my limit order at 680. Let's see if it can, touch that. I just hope to get a good, price over here to go long, but right now I'm not finding a good price. But the structure is very good. So it has eliminated all the selling and now it wants to go up. So the structure, market structure, the price action looks very good. So let's see. Price action is looking good, but I'm not getting the right price at which I should enter. So kind of searching for that right moment to go long. Okay, looks like breached 700. So keeping the limit order at 700, let's see, or 696. So let it get filled. If it gets filled, then it would be good. Okay, so just got filled, and I would love to increase the size over here and take 20 points. So let's see. Okay, so second contract. So now I'm in with two contracts, and what I'm targeting is 20 points. So let's see if we can, get that. $200 is also a good amount, but what I'm targeting is 702. That is $400. So let's see if we can get a 702. That would be really good. Okay, got it. So yeah, it was a pretty good trade. As I said again and again, I was getting a really good market structure. So you can see over here in the log, I went long with the first contract at 696, and then I went long at 688. So 6 plus 2 is 8. So my average price was 694, right, for the first contract. And I sold both the contracts at 702. So almost, 10 points. So 694, 702 and 694. So almost 6 plus 2, 8 points. But that was with two contracts. So the total profit was around 400. So that's what I was doing. So you can see it in logs, and pretty satisfied by this trade. The reason why I'm saying this is because you can see over here that over here I was looking at the market structure, and the market structure was looking really bullish. So why it was looking bullish? Because we fell down right in the pre-market, we went up like crazy, and then we got a healthy digestion, and then the last confirmation was this green candle which eliminated the entire selling. So I was looking like where can we go long. So I was looking at the VWAP, I was looking at 15-minute range, I was looking at this S1 support. So that is what I was looking at, and we just went long, and we were able to capture a good amount with size, that is with 2 contracts. So this is what I was talking about. But yeah, this is the third trade of the day, and really satisfied and really balanced right now. Right now there's no need of hurry, or there's no need of doing any home runs or anything like that. Three quick simple trades. Like if you can see over here, uh, the average time of each position is not even minutes. So you can see over here, let me go, yeah, so 11 seconds, 28 seconds, and 46 seconds. So it's not even a minute, right? So this is why you need to wait for hours to complete your trade within seconds, because when you're right, markets go in your favor very quickly. So these are like kind of A plus setup that I am looking for to do every day. And as you can see over here, the tally of each account total profit is $590, which I replicated across 5 accounts. So ideally I should be done for the day, to be really honest, right? My discipline, my rules tells me that I should be done for the day, get the hell out of here, right? But as I said, I have more 7:27 right now, so I have a lot of time to keep going. But yeah, within 10-15 minutes, I'm tired. Planning to uh, close the live session, since we have already captured really good opportunities today. So now there is no point in risking more and giving back all the profits. So that's the last thing as traders you want to do. So you don't want to do that. So now let's study. So over here, let's look at the liquidity chart. So this is the liquidity chart. Let me zoom out to give you a good perspective. So the day started over here 6:30. Let me let me go to 60 minutes, so that it's nicely visible. All the levels are nicely visible. So perfect. So right now, as you can see over here, we have a really good nice pullback, but I don't see a huge support or a huge liquidity area that I can count on to go long. So that's where I'm coming from. So now the price action will be very choppy going forward, because the first hour almost is done. So yeah, 6:30, so 7:25. So yeah, the first hour of the session is done. So it will be very choppy going forward today. So thankfully I was able to capture 3 to 4 trades today in a very good way. So now there's no point in sticking around and forcing yourself to trade. So I will be closing the live session, but I would just like to thank you guys for viewing, and do as much learning as possible. So for the last time, I just wanted to show you that so far the status of cumulative delta charts with the VWAP standard deviation is this. We are above the VWAP. So right now we are, as long as we are above 662 or 668 over here, and as long as the delta is holding up fairly well, should be no cause of concern. And looking at the daily volume bar, there is a lot of high volume nodes in this zone, right? um, and over here we have a good support. So far markets are holding fairly well. So far markets have digested the CPI news fairly well. So the benefit of doubt should go to the bulls, and right now the bulls are handling the selling pressure very, very well. So that's what I'm seeing currently in the markets. And yeah, these are my 2 cents. And now I would like to leave you with these thoughts. Stay cautious, keep learning, keep growing, and keep trading. And just to give you a summary, we did quick 3 to 4 trades. So over here you can see, okay, not working. Let me see. Yep. I think there's some problem with the portal, but just wanted to show you all the fills. But yeah, it looks like there's a problem with the portal. But yeah, no matter what, this was very, very total tally of the day is 590, and across this happened across 3 to 4 trades. So no complaints over there. And yeah, I would like to thank you for viewing. And yeah, I'd like to leave you with these thoughts. And happy trading, everyone. And thanks for joining, and thanks for viewing. Stay tuned, and I would love to do this more frequently as possible. So yeah, with that, uh, stay hungry and stay foolish.